Hey everyone, hope everyone's doing well. You are here for another episode of Flower Hour. I'm going to be going live today with Shoca Kenneth. We're going to be talking about, being black men, mental health, and his music. He's got some great music. A lot of it is a personal message, which I'm looking forward to discussing. So let me send this through to him, and let's get this popping. Hope everyone's been doing well as well, because the rain today was a little bit mad. But we're here and we're alive, we're blessed, so we have to be thankful for everything that we have. So yeah, join whenever you can. Bro, I'm waiting for you. Let's make sure. Perfect, let's get this going.
Yo, bro.
Yes, brother. How are you, man?
I'm blessed, bro.
So what are you telling me? Are you gonna chat with me while the car's moving?
Fuck it, bro. Let's do it.
All right, man. Listen, as long as you're good, I'm good, man.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Yeah, man. How's life been, man? How have you been dealing with everything pre-COVID and then obviously now post-COVID?
I was having this conversation with my DJ who I'm with now. Yeah, I was just telling him about the rise that's been going on for me for the past 4 years.
Mm.
So I was telling him we was just going through it because we've been together throughout this whole journey.
Yeah.
So how in 2016 I joined Instagram. Then 2017 I did the Grenfell freestyle that went viral. Then that same year I dropped my first EP.
Okay.
Then 2018, the year after, I dropped Self Love and got signed.
Okay.
And then 2019, I did the TED Talk.
Oh, sure. Okay.
And then went New York. And then 2020 was meant to be, do you know what I mean? It's just elevated. And then 2020 started off good as well. I did my headline show, sold out in February, and then COVID hit.
No, of course. So it must have felt like a real block in the roadworks.
Yes, it did.
You see me?
Yo, bro,
thank God. All right, cool.
Someone trying to call me.
Yeah, no, so I wanted to talk to you about, first, I wanted to let you introduce yourself to my audience and obviously to everyone that's going to be watching, because I know about the stuff that you do, but I think everyone else would love to know.
Yeah, I go by the name of Shoca. I'm an artist from North London. Some people might know me from the group I was in. I was in a group called Marvel. It was a grime collective. We was together for 5 years. We did bare shit. And that's where most people know me from. And then I branched out and I've become a solo act. So, yeah, that's just a brief intro.
And what has been your journey to becoming an artist? Because I know through some of your music, most importantly, you speak about messages, but I'm going to get onto that later. I want to know, how did you become the artist that you are today?
Do you know what? I wasn't always the artist I was today. If there's people that know me from my Marvel journey that I said when I was in a group, I was a completely different artist. I even look different. My hair's all different now, dreaded and shit. I look different. I was more like a fun. We was one of the first groups in grime to be about positivity. Do you know what I mean? Not really gun lyrics and violence.
Okay.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So it was that fun, happy goal. And then my whole style changed. But my whole style changed because I went through real life experiences, which we'll get into later. But my whole mental health journey, that put me on a path to talk about real things in my music.
Mm.
And then, yeah, my music just changed. And I just started getting inspired by different things. I got inspired by Kendrick Lamar. I mention him in every interview. I'm tired of mentioning him, but I have to because it's part of the story. It's what inspires me. But yeah, man, someone gave me Section 80, his mixtape, and it just changed my whole outlook, and it just showed me what I can do with my platform and my voice. I never knew I could do that before. I thought music is just strictly about making people jump up and down and mosh pits. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't aware that you can make someone cry through your songs. Do you know what I mean? And you can touch someone and to make them feel something, and you can change their perspective. And he did that for me. So, and I realized I've got that ability. So I've just been doing that ever since, and like it's so fulfilling, man. It's so fulfilling. I went from getting messages just saying, "Oh, Shoca, you're cold," to getting like paragraphs, having in-depth conversations with my supporters, and that's what it's about. Every artist should strive to make a real connection with their supporters.
And why do you think that music nowadays, I suppose in some senses, is lacking that authenticity? Because I listened to your music and I felt I could relate to most of your tracks simply because of being black, growing up without a dad, and so much more mental health. Why do you think perhaps our generation now and a lot of artists are perhaps lacking a bit of authenticity?
Because it's not the cool thing to do. In society, everyone likes to follow trends, usually. Do you know what I mean? And follow what's popular. It's not cool to like have a message in your music or to talk about positive things or to stand for something. That's not cool. When that does come in, it's like mental health has become a trend. Do you know what I mean? But like, that's one trend that I'm not mad at though. That's a good trend. If that trend is going to get someone that's on the brink of suicide to come out to their friend in the meantime, can you hear me?
But then don't you think, when you think about things such as mental health and being black, what do you believe the challenges that you face as a black man and especially as a musician in relation to mental health?
What challenges do I face?
Have you faced?
I think the stereotype and the stigma attached around it, that's the biggest challenge. Like, as soon as you mention you've been sectioned or exhibit any kind of behavior like that, people just get frightened, and do you know what I mean? Straight away, like me and my DJ here, we was in a restaurant yesterday having a meal, and this guy came in, and you can clearly tell that like he wasn't all there. Do you know what I mean? And he came in, and he was literally having a conversation with me, and like they just threw him out the restaurant. Do you get me? Just because of his illness, and that's, do you know what I mean? And I feel like the reason why I relate to that so much is because if I never had music as a gift, and I never had this sort of popularity that I've got through music, that's probably how I would have got. Yo, bro.
Can you see me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. Sorry, what were you saying? It cut out.
I was saying that's probably how I would have got treated if I never had like music to my name. Do you know what I mean? And I wasn't like this music figure. That's probably how I would get treated in society. Just having, do you know what I mean? Because I feel like, have you watched The Matrix?
Yeah, of course, I've watched The Matrix.
You know, like how there's Neo, and then what's his real name? His other name?
I can't remember his real name.
Was it Smith? Was it Smith? Was it Anderson?
What was his real name?
That's what I'm trying to remember. What was his real...
I need to watch it again.
But remember, it was like he had two lives.
Yes,
he had one life. He had one life where he's just working a regular job, and then he had another life that they was trying to stop, which is the Neo version of himself.
Yes.
And I feel like I relate to that because like I feel like I've got two lives. I've got this life now where like I'm doing. Oh, Mr. Anderson. Someone said it's Anderson, right? Was it Anderson?
Yeah.
It's probably Anderson. Yeah.
So I relate to that because I feel like I've got two lives. I've got this life where like I'm on live to you now, and I'm off with my DJ to have a meeting about a video. You get me? Then I've got this other life where like I get doctors that phone me like every month to check in with me on my mental health, and they don't even see me as someone that can become someone in society. I'm just Kenneth to them that's been through schizophrenia, and do you know what I mean? And I felt like the guy that got pushed out of the restaurant that I saw yesterday, that was that side of him. It wasn't the Neo version. It was the other side they saw. He's probably got a gift, an incredible talent that he could have shown, that they would have said, oh yeah, come, have a seat. Show us more of that. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I proper relate to that. And that's one of the face is just getting judged by just that side.
And you just mentioned schizophrenia. I would love to hear a little bit more about your journey, I suppose, of mental health. And has it been one where, and you made a point that you said your doctor sees you as someone who probably is not going to go on and achieve the things that you've achieved. And you've got the other life where, you know, as you said, you're with your DJ right now. you're going to a meeting, you're speaking to me on a live, and I've listened to your album. How have you been able to deal with those two parallel worlds?
It's by deciding which one I want to be my final destination.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Neo was battling between the two, but Neo was his final destination. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how he ended with the long jacket and like clocking the game. And that's what I feel like. I've always got like the best version of myself in my head, in my goal. So and that's what helped me a lot. Is because when my doctors was talking to me, how they was talking to me, saying, "Oh, what are you gonna do when you get back into society?" Do you know what I mean? And talking to me like I'm not really worth anything. I always had this version that I'm talking to you now in my head. I always had like they was talking to me. I was just thinking, you don't even know, like.
Yeah, that's love, bro.
Yeah, like I was thinking, like, you lot are talking to me, but trust me, I'm that guy. I've got
you are the guy. You are the guy, bro.
I'm not really religious, but like there's a Bible scripture that I love that says your gift will make room for you.
Yes.
And like I always preach that scripture to people because like I don't care who you are, yeah. If you got a gift, it can literally make room for you, and I'm living proof of it. I didn't get no GCSEs, I didn't get amazing A levels. I'm not graduated from uni, but I had a gift, and I honed in on that gift, and it's allowed me to talk to people like you. It's allowed me to do the TED Talk. It's allowed me to do my albums. It's allowed me to do my sold out show that I did in February. It's allowed me to do all these things just because I focused on my gift, and that's what Neo did. Neo had his gift. He was the one. Do you know what I mean? And he didn't believe it at first. It took a Morpheus to tell him, but once he did believe and he honed in on it, he became Neo. So that's what keeps me. That's what helped me like balance it out.
When did you discover that you had that gift that you currently possess now? Because you said that you went to school, didn't get much GCSEs, you didn't do very well in your A-level. How did you realize that, hold up, rapping and talking about who I am is my gift?
Because I started rapping ages ago. There's probably people on here that's been following my journey and know that I've been rapping forever. And like, it was the only thing that came to me naturally that I didn't have to put too much thought into. Like I started off copying other people's lyrics, and I used to spit someone else's lyrics to my friend. And then when they find out that it's not my lyric, they used to say to me, "Yo, you spat that verse better than the person's verse it actually was." They'll be like, "I heard the person that the lyric belongs to, and I don't really like it. I like when you say it." So that inspired me, and I was like, all right, let me write my own then. So I started coming up with my own, and the reaction I got, I've never had anything like that from anything, and I just stuck with it. I honed it, and now I've turned it into something more purposeful. Before I was just doing music just for the sake of doing music, just to make money, and girls and clothes, and do you know what I mean, for the excitement. But now I'm doing it like with a purpose to like change lives, to inspire, to like impact. Hence why I made impact over numbers. Now like everything's like purpose driven.
Yeah, and I wanted to speak to you about impact over numbers. So the two tracks so I took notes because I listened deeply to your album. You know, the two tracks that got to me were Impact Over Numbers and Good Fathers. And I think if I was to describe you to people that are going to be watching this live right now, I'd say you're humble, down to earth, and you're a real artist. But there was a line that I took from one of your tracks where you spoke to your mum about your mental health, but your mum said, don't speak about mental health. Could you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yes.
Every day, man.
Yes. When the last time I came out of hospital, for people that don't know, I've been sectioned 3 times. I got sectioned I got sectioned in 2012 for like 5 days. Then I got sectioned in 2013, a year after for like 28 days. Then I was doing okay. Then I got sectioned again in 2016 for like another 28 days, near to like a month, yeah. And when I came out the last time, I remember my mum saying to me, "Oh, you know, this is something that we just keep in the house.
Yes.
I mean, nothing's happened. You don't have to go out telling the world. Just, you know, just continue with your life and just get back on track like nothing's happened." And like, I remember her just telling me not to tell the world about it. But like, and then I said in the next line on the song, when I got signed, she asked, and I told her, I posted a picture up of me signing.
Yeah.
She was like, how much comments did it get? Do you know what I mean? Like, what was the views and what was the numbers? And it just shows me that's how it is in like most of the African background. It's like they like to hide away from like their pain and like
absolutely,
you know what I mean, and keep it in and keep it to themselves and hide it. But when it comes to success, they want to like
They want to show the world.
Want to show the world and show off. And you know what? I probably would have turned out that way if I never had mentors that's been teaching me different. That's teaching me that, yo, you need to balance that both. You got to show people your wins and you got to show people your losses. That's how people really root for you and become a fan of you, because like, that's why people get so much envy, because they're only showing them the success. So people get jealous and think, right, doesn't he have hard times? Doesn't he have hard days? Like, is he not like us? Like, you know, that's how people think. They're like, I think he's good, he thinks he's too blessed. So like, it's always good to balance that both. And that's what I try to do. Like, when I did the TED Talk, I posted up the TED Talk. My mum's ill at the moment. She's got cancer.
Sorry to hear that, brother.
Yeah, no, it's in God's hands. And like, I posted that up too. Do you know what I mean? Like, I could have hid that from the world. But I'm showing them like both sides. That as much as I'm celebrating this, I'm going through real shit on my day-to-day basis. And it's good to do that because people can relate and just like, and connect more.
And it's interesting because whenever we think about musicians, rappers and artists, we think they live in this other world where they don't face struggles and so much more. But you're very real. You show your story and you've told your story, especially through your music. And I called your album in my own head an ode to real mental health. Black men typically are not very transparent with how we feel. So I'm Caribbean, and trying to get my mum to talk about something emotional, it's almost impossible. Yeah. But whenever, as you said, whenever her son does well, she wants everyone to know. I want to ask you a little bit more about your TEDx talk. When did you give your TEDx talk? And what was your TEDx talk about?
My TEDx talk was in last year, 2019, in May. Was it May?
April, May.
April, May. I remember April, May. It was in April, May, and it was based on self-love. That was a period where like I was really studying the importance of like loving yourself. There's a woman called Louise Hay. I found a book from her. Not I found a book, but someone showed me about her and told me about the book I should get, and I got it, and I was studying it, and I was reading it, and I was like, how do I take everything I've learned from this book and get it out to the world in the best way possible? Then I remembered I can put it in music. So I made the self-love song, and yeah, the song just took off. And it's like that song was meant to be. It just took off. Everyone gravitated to the song, and yeah, I've been preaching that message ever since. But it's so important. I don't even want to. If I go into it, we'll be here for like another 2 hours. But what I would say is go on YouTube and type in Louise Hay, and just study all her work. She'll probably say it much better than I can, and you'll learn so much from her. Like, she taught me so much. And that's what I did my TED Talk on.
And what was that experience like giving a TED Talk? So you said you were sectioned 3 times, right? You've gone on to being signed. You've gone through so much. That TEDx talk for you must have been one of those moments where you realized even more, I am capable of anything.
100%. I'm happy you said that, actually, because that TED Talk was like
a TED party.
I turned into a TED party. If you've watched
I said a TED party.
I did. That TED Talk was like, it was like the celebration. It was like the celebration of everything I've been through. And I just got to celebrate that moment in front of like the whole world. Like, it was actually amazing. It's one of the most epic things I've done ever till this date. Like, it was amazing. Like, it was a celebration. That's what the TED Talk was. You're a TED speaker too. Like, I didn't even realize until I saw TED, and I thought, okay.
Yeah, man, I did mine in 2018. I'm hoping to do another one at some point because I think my first one has a lot of work to do. But we've got to focus on you, bro. Like, this whole live is all about you. Like, we're all focusing on you, bro. Like, you can't put it on me like that. But
gang.
I wanted to speak to you about another one of your songs. So, my father died when I was 6 years old on Christmas Day, and I understood how important my father was, and I was very close to my father. And you have a track called Good Fathers, and you speak about your father and how you haven't seen him for so long. Could you tell me a little bit more about what Good Fathers as a track means to you?
Good Fathers means, I'm actually with the person that inspired the song.
Bless, brother. Like, slap him in the slap.
I'm driving. I'm
with my DJ. He inspired the song, but Good Fathers is for me, it's maturity. Because like, if anyone's been following my journey, every time I mention my dad, it's always bitter. It's always like he wasn't in my life. Do you know what I mean? And like, I always mention it with like we're always going back and forth. It's always bitter. But this is the first time where like I've made a positive song about fathers, and it started because of my DJ. Yeah. My DJ's just had his daughter. How is she now? How's she like that? 4. He's had his daughter. She's 4 now, and like I've watched their whole. I've watched him and his daughter for like 4 years closely, like watching them back and forth, and it properly inspired me and showed me that there is fathers out there that's making an effort to be in their kids' lives. Absolutely. I've never seen that angle. And not only my DJ inspired me, my friends, most of my friends have had kids now, nearly all of them. I'm like the last one left, but nearly all of them's had kids, and I'm watching them with their kids, and I'm seeing like, yo, there's actually good fathers out there. Yes. I've just always blocked that out because my father went in my life. I've always been like, nah, fuck fathers, da 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 da. Do you know what I mean? But like, they've changed my whole perspective and showed me like, there's great dads out there, bro. There's people that's really putting in the effort. That there's incredible fathers out there, and that's why I made that song, because I feel like I've never heard a song for fathers. I've always heard like, Dear Mama from Tupac. Yeah. You know what I mean? And songs for your grandma, but no one makes songs for dads. Never ever heard it. And I was like, all right, cool, let me just put this one out there. So yeah, that's the Steve song on my project as well. Everyone highlighted that song.
And I think when I listened to the song, it made me think about, you're very right. I think typically there's a narrative that we hear, black dads are always absent and so on. And you made a good point that whilst you had your personal experience with your dad not being there, there's other very good fathers out there. Do you think that the experience of your father leaving has allowed you to express pain in a way that young men typically aren't always able to express their pain? Because I think when I grew up, a lot of the boys that I grew up with, their fathers weren't around. And I think we think about how good a single mother is, but do we sometimes not realize that losing a father really affects a young boy in particular?
Yeah, definitely. And I'm only realizing that now. I didn't realize that when I was younger. My mum did so much to like, I wouldn't say blind me, but like she did so much to make me not really focus on my dad. But like now I'm older, it's setting in, because like there's so much male, like I'm really feminine, bruv, in my ways. You know what I mean? Being raised with my mom, and you can tell by my music, like I'm making songs like self-love and single mothers, and do you know what I mean? That's like someone, you can tell that I'm in my emotions and I've got a heart. Do you know what I mean? But
nothing wrong with that.
No, it's a beautiful thing, but I'm out of balance though. I see where I'm out of balance in my real life. Do you know what I mean? Where my dad could have like molded me as a man. Like I'm not a man's man yet, and I feel like my dad could have really played a part in that. Just my mentality as well. Just being more strong-minded. I think my dad could have showed me so much things, and I'm only realizing that now I'm a man. I'm like, okay, this is where he comes in. I never knew where he came in before. I wasn't really thinking about it, but now it's starting to make sense to me.
And I think I want to ask you about that as well. And I've said this in many lives before, because I think a lot of the people I've spoken to, unfortunately, their fathers haven't been there. And I remember my cousin said to me once at the dinner table, he said, as children, we wear the sins of our parents, right? Yeah. And typically we carry the burden, whatever they've put on us, whether it's good or bad, we carry that. Have you been able to make contact with your father in any way, shape or form? And if so, would you be willing to forgive him for the absence he's left in your life?
Yeah, I've forgiven him ages ago. He always says that as well. Last time I spoke to him, he was like, "Have you forgiven me?" And I thought, yeah, like I'm not. And he even said it to me. He was like, "I'm lucky I've got a son that like basically what he was saying is that I'm lucky I've got a cool son." Do you know what I mean? That hasn't taken this out of. Do you know what I mean? That hasn't lashed out. But like I'm cool. I'm proper. I've forgiven him ages ago. But yeah, he pops up here and there. Yeah, last time I spoke to him was that probably like 3-4 months ago. Spoke to him about 3-4 months ago, and he was in Austria, but now he's in Nigeria. He's stuck in Nigeria because of this whole COVID thing. Yeah. And but I can get to talk to him if I want to. It's not as bad as I make it sound sometimes. I make it sound like, oh, I can't, but I can. If I want to, I can find his number. He put me in contact with my sister as well. He's got a daughter, so I've got a half sister, and so I can talk to her and get to him. But that's where I'm fucking up on my part, I think, because like I really need to make that decision and go see him. Like that needs to happen, because like there's so much stuff that I know he's got to tell me that's going to complete my life for me. Do you know what I mean?
Oh wow.
Yeah, real talk. It's true. As much as I run from it, I do run from it all the time. I talk to my friends about it as well, saying that I'm not ready to have that conversation and to sit down with him. But I mean,
He's your dad, man.
he's my dad, number one, and number two. You never know what's going to happen in life. Do you get me?
I
Like,
agree.
you don't know how long they've got. As I said, my mom's ill. I wasn't planning for that. I was planning. Do you know what I mean? I didn't know that's going to happen. So you never know how long you've got. So I got to make that decision. I got to do that soon.
So first of all, I have to say that I'm really thankful that you've been able to make contact with your dad, and hopefully you'll be able to build a relationship with him. And you said, unfortunately, that your mother is ill. I just want to ask, how important has your mother been in raising you to being the individual that you are now?
Everything. Everything. Because she led by actions purely. Like my mum's a G, man. And watching her during this period of like what she's going through showed me how much of a G she is. Because she's been through so much, but I was too young to see how she handles what she's been through. Because she lost 2 children before me.
I'm so sorry to hear that, man.
All good, bro. But like she was young. I mean, I was young, so I don't know how she handled that. Do you know what I mean? I can only imagine what was she like, what was the phone calls like, how was she, do you know what I mean? But now seeing her go through this and I'm watching this firsthand and seeing how she's handled it, she's incredible. Even when I was younger, she had like this homeless guy that used to live in our house. Like she found him on the corridor and she invited him into our house to stay with us. And I remember like when my friends used to come to the house and see him there used to be all these rumors flying around in school that like she's sleeping with him. You know how us man then get, your mum's fucking it, like all these rumors and like, I'm like, but now I rap about homelessness. If you listen to my music, I'm always rapping about homelessness. Like I'm always giving money to homeless people. I'm always, and that's from her. I just picked that up subconsciously. So like she definitely is 100% responsible for the person I've become. Definitely.
And I could imagine your mother. Again, we spoke about success, and parents are always proud to show off their children. But I'm sure you've been able to teach your mother some lessons about being more emotionally in touch with who she is and speaking about her issues, I would like to believe.
Do you know what? I haven't,
Really?
I haven't, man. Me and my mum's relationship's weird. Like, I've got so much, like, I want to show her and, like, talk to her about, but is that what you were saying about being able to connect with our parents?
Yeah.
They're from a whole different generation.
It's true.
Like, me and my mum haven't even spoken about, like, me being sectioned in depth. Like, do you know what I mean? We haven't spoken about mental health. We don't even talk about mental health because she's already made it clear, like, I don't want to speak about this thing. But, like, because people would assume that. I know people assume that, yo, you and your mum must have the most incredible conversations and, like, you must be showing there so much. But, like, it's the complete opposite. It's the complete opposite, but, yeah.
Am I the only one that thinks that? I think perhaps the older generation, in terms of our parents, whilst they might not change, you said previously that young people now, it's become a trend to speak about mental health, and it's a good trend. Mental health is being challenged. What do you think could be done more to support individuals such as yourself in regards to mental health?
What could be done more? Oh, that's a good question.
More campaigns from the streets of London.
Not even just campaigns, but I think what people are doing already, as in sharing their stories, that goes a long way, Like,
Absolutely.
I don't think people understand the power in being able to relate to someone's story. It just makes you feel free about yours. Like like I was watching. Did you know the verses that they've been doing in America?
Yeah.
Did you see the DMX and Snoop Dogg one?
I haven't seen that one.
When DMX performed Slipping, you know his song Slipping, I'm falling, I can't get up, I'm slipping. When he performed that, Snoop Dogg was like, I've got goosebumps. Like, I felt that. And then DMX said something that's so crazy. He said, you have to write that pain because your pride can stop someone from killing themselves. And that's so true. You can have pride saying, nah, man, I'm not going to talk about this thing, man. This is embarrassing, man. I don't want to tell no one about it. And that moment of you saying you don't want to talk about it, that thing that you don't want to talk about, someone could hear that and be like, oh my God, I'm going through that too. And it can just unlock everything that they're going through. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I think people sharing stories has to continue. It's so important. Like Nas's new album.
Oh yeah,
Nas's new album.
King's
He's
Disease.
got a song in there called All Bad, yeah?
Yeah.
And it's about having a relationship with a girl, and then all of a sudden, like, she just turns cold on you, yeah? And I was like, oh my God, but Nas is going through that too. Like, big Nas, big Ross Clark Nas is going through that. And like, just shit like that, bro. So I think people sharing their stories is important. I think everyone needs to continue their sharing their stories. And yeah, it's going to help so much people. If that's one thing I can.
And you spoke about Nas's new album, and I really like Nas's new album, King's Disease. I think it's a really good album. I think it's going to do numbers. But I think you also spoke about, in your album, yeah, King's Disease, you spoke about impact over numbers.
Yes.
And as an artist, sometimes you're governed by numbers. You're not governed by how much you sell, how much streams, how many people buy this, how many people buy that. But you speak about the impact of your music. The impact of your music is what is most important. So how do you manage impact versus numbers? Because a lot of people now are selling music just for a catchy beat to make money, and they're not doing it for the longevity. So how have you been able to manage the two?
I think impact is the genuine response you get from your fans, not fans, I hate that word, from your supporters.
Yes.
It's the genuine response you get from your supporters. You don't get that with numbers. You know what I mean? Someone could buy your song, but you might not know how they actually feel about that song. Does that make sense?
Yes.
They bought it, but like, you want to know how they feel. Like, my DMs are always open. I'm always talking in my DMs because I want to know the response. I want to know how you actually feel. That's why I'm so excited about doing this live with you, because I want to know, like, why do you want to take your time out to talk about this project? How did it affect you? How did it connect with you? Most people don't care about that. I do. So for me to make impact over numbers, it just shows you where my priorities is, what I care about. I've gone the numbers route. It's cool finding out that you're top 10 and it's okay. Do you know what I mean? But nothing is more fulfilling than someone coming up to you saying, track 10 made me go and talk to my mum. We haven't spoken, you know what I mean? We haven't spoken in 6 months. I heard your song and I decided I'm going to talk to my mum, and now we're having a lovely relationship again. That's game changing. That's what everyone should be striving for, making an actual impact in your supporters' lives, changing them in a positive way. That should be am I the crazy one? Like, that should be the goal.
I agree with you, and I argue this with my friends 24/7. I say, to me, a rapper is someone who leaves the world musically in a better place than they found it, and works for the longevity of their community. And that leads me on to ask another question. You have artists such as Jar Jar Sows and Akala, where they have a loyal fan base, but the mainstream media will never pick up on them, simply because the music that they promote is against the mainstream narrative, which I think is a bit toxic and destructive. As an artist, how have you stayed away from the destructive and poisonous elements of the music industry that perhaps will try to swallow you up?
That's a good question, you know. I think because of the music I make, I understand the impact and the importance of it. Like what you said just now about Akala and someone like Low-Key not being accepted in the mainstream, but people need to understand what happens when artists like that gets accepted in the mainstream. Do you know what kind of artist gets birthed? Think about it, yeah? They let Tupac through, yeah? Somehow, I don't know how it happened, but Tupac slid through the gaps, ended up in the mainstream, ended up giving us songs like Dear Mama and Keep Your Head Up and shit, and look what it birthed. There is a whole generation that think with the same mind. Do you know what I mean? Kendrick Lamar got birthed off the back of Tupac. They let Bob Marley slip through to the mainstream. A whole reggae scene got birthed off the back of that. Do you know what I mean? They let Lauryn Hill slip through. So much women got inspired. So it's like, it's dangerous when you let artists like that slip through the mainstream. That the ripples and the impact it has is dangerous. Do you know what I mean? I can't imagine what's happened now that Dave has dropped an album like Psychodrama. I cannot imagine what kind of kids are at home writing. We're not going to find out to the next 10, 15 years, and you're going to see what I'm talking about. What kind of kids that album just birthed. So, like, that's why they can't let Low Key and Nakala go mainstream. Because, like, imagine hearing a song like Single Mothers, like, 10 times a day on 1Extra or Radio 1. Do you know what that does?
It'll make people think differently.
It makes people think differently. So they can't risk that.
But anyway, that'd be a good thing.
It would be a great thing for society.
Everyone would be writing about them.
Exactly.
About real things.
Yes, exactly. It'll be a great thing. It'll be a great thing.
And I wanted to ask, so I know that the brain is a creature of volume and repetition. So whatever you put into it is what you're going to end up using as an output, right? So the music that you promote, when people listen to it, it has depth, it has meaning and impact over numbers. So you're leaving a long-lasting legacy with people rather than a short-lived legacy. So I want to ask, how do you ensure that mentally, day to day, you're ready to deliver the music that we are all currently enjoying from yourself?
I think by always revisiting my purpose. It's a constant reminder. Do you know what I mean? I'm always like watching things, and I'm always revisiting my purpose and understanding, like, why am I doing, like, I always question myself. Like, I have beautiful conversations with myself. I'm not going to lie, bro. I always ask myself, like, why are you doing this? Why are you going studio right now? Do you know what I mean? Like, why? Like, why are you making this song? Like, why are you doing impact? Do you know what I mean? I'm always getting in touch. And I think that's how you do it. A constant reminder. Because life gets hard. Do you know what I mean? I'm not a millionaire yet from this. So it gets hard. Do you know what I mean? There's days where, like, you think, this is long. So, like, it's always a constant reminder. And that's where, like, the feedback is so important. That's why my DMs are always open. Because people don't understand, like, some of the days that you've DM'd me saying, yo, Shox, I love track 6, or this song inspired me. You don't understand. You've just given me fuel. Do you know what I mean? You've just given me more petrol to continue. So as much as, like, as much as I'm feeding them and serving my audience with what I've got to offer, you lot are giving me fuel as well. Like, it's back and forth.
So you speak a lot about purpose and what other people do for you. It allows you to give, it's the petrol for your engine to continue. Definitely. What is your purpose? And tell me how you're going to continue performing your purpose.
I think my purpose is to heal, you know, through music.
Rotted. Healer.
Yeah, man, through words, through conversation. So like this. So that's always in the back of my mind, that, like, I've got an opportunity to heal. I'm always cautious. So, like, when I do this live, I'm like, okay, cool. There's 15 people on here right now. One of them or two of them could be going through something that I've got the key to through my experiences. That's always in the back of my mind. Then when I'm writing, it's always in the back of my mind. I'm like, this song, Good Fathers, there's probably someone out there that hasn't spoken to their dad. Do you know what I mean? And this song can heal that relationship. So you better take time while you're crafting this. It's always in my mind. So knowing your purpose is important because it helps you know what steps to make. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Like, if I go to a studio session, I'll know whether I'm meant to be there within the first 15 minutes. You know what I mean? Because I'll know. Does that make sense? By the content that's getting played, and I'll know, like, I cool, like, I've got no business on this song. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how I'm gonna input my purpose into this. So, yeah, I think to heal, definitely.
And I want to ask you, and it's not a trick question anyway. In terms of when we manage commercial interest versus impact, as you said, would you work with mainstream artists who perhaps don't otherwise promote the message you promote? Would you use it as a chance to be conscious within perhaps what I could call unconscious music?
Would I use what? Say that again, because that sounds like that.
Would you use the opportunity to quote unquote work with an artist who's not really caring about the impact they leave on people to promote a conscious message through their quote unquote unconscious music?
Do you know what? I would, you know. I really would. Sometimes it gets like that. Sometimes you got to do it. I really would. I really would. I feel like, because you you want to reach people that don't know. Do you know what I mean? It's all. I mean, it's all good having your world that know this is amazing. Do you know what I'm saying? But sometimes you want to branch outside and reach people that don't know, and that could be a great opportunity to do that. So I definitely would. I definitely would do that. I would work with someone that's not necessarily in line, but I'll make it work. I definitely would do that. 100%.
Well, I'm sure you heard in Kendrick Lamar's remix of Mask Off. He says, "How do you let a conscious go commercial?"
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? Like, he was on that Future song, and like he did him though. Like,
when I listened to his rap, I was like, "Hold up, is that you, Kendrick, coming on Future?"
Yes, exactly. I would do that definitely. And I think, what Kendrick's doing there, J. Cole does it too. He jumps on certain songs and does it too. But what they're doing there is showing you how someone with a message can break through in this day and age. Do you know what I mean? I think the old mentality back in the day is, no, I'm not going to work with him. We've got two different messages. He's got, do you know what I mean? And that doesn't work. All that's going to happen is that they're just not going to hear of you, and that doesn't work. But I think there's new ways to get around it.
Okay. And how have you found navigating those new ways around it? Because you said you're currently in the works of creating a new project, if I'm correct, right?
I am.
Could you tell us a little bit more about the project? Because I'd love to hear, if possible. Drop a little sneak peek.
The project is called...
The album's coming!
How long for the album?
It's finished!
Is it finished?
It's nearly finished. There's just a few features I want to get. I'm looking for Stormzy. I'm on the hunt.
Say no more.
I'm on the hunt. I'm on the hunt for Stormzy, bro. And I actually know him. I know him as in, like, whenever we see each other, it's love. But I don't know him as in digits to phone his phone. But like, if I can, I'm gonna make it happen though. I'm on the hunt for Stormzy. That's the only feature I want. Stormzy, Day, or Cole. Those are the only three that fit into this album. The album I've just made is like a mental health album from top to bottom. Like,
Amen.
Dedicated. And I feel like no one hasn't made an album like this. No one.
Do you know what? So I work near an organization where Stormzy regularly works with them. So if you want, I can put you in contact with them, and hopefully, I'm sure they have Stormzy's details. So perhaps you can get a little link up.
Please,
what
bro.
What did you always say? Put it into existence. Put it out there, bro.
Please, I'm smiling already. Please.
No, definitely.
I got the perfect song for him. Like, I got a song called "Fighting My Vices." It's about everyone. It's about people that's been through addictions and shit.
Right.
And I feel like he would give me, because he put out an interview recently talking about his battles with like his weed addiction and shit. And I feel like he would give me the verse I'm looking for, just a beautiful verse, just to hone the message home. But like, he's who I want on the album. But I just
want to say quickly to everyone watching, if you want to ask questions, throw them in the question box. What about MC Righteous? Yeah, man.
Mike
love his music too.
Yeah, Mike Righteous is dope. Big up King Wiz.
Yeah, man.
Big up Jake. Big up everyone in here still.
Listen, Shocks, I wanted to give you my platform to also speak about something that you wanted to speak about here and now as well. And simply it's because I believe being on my podcast, it's just good for you to talk about something that's important to you. So I'm going to open up the floor for you.
Oh shit, you put me in the spot. What would I want to say? Just probably what I said before about finding your gift. That's a message I want to. I don't think people understand the importance of what I'm saying here. Listen, let me break it down now. Since you've given me the floor, let me break it down, The Bible says your gift will make room for you,
Amen.
What does that mean? That means that God knew that you're probably going to end up in a tight situation. Why would it have to make room for you? So that means he knew you would end up in a tight situation. What's a tight situation? Maybe you ended up being on the roads when you was younger. You've ended up in prison for like 10 years. Now you've come out of prison. You've got no qualifications. You can't get a job. That's a tight situation to be in society. But you've got this gift, though, that you've got, whether it's painting, whether it's singing, whether it's cooking, whether it's DJing, whatever that gift is, fam, that gift can make room for you. in that tight situation. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I know so many people like that's in tight situations in life on a day-to-day basis that I come across, and they've got a gift, but like their gift hasn't been it hasn't been made glamorous to them. You know what I mean? Like they've told their gift to someone, and I got a friend that just started singing. He's been singing for years around us, but he's just made his first video recently, yeah? And it's taken him so long to do it. The video is doing well for him. It's on 350,000. It's doing amazing for him. Like, he's getting all this love. And I'm like, bro, look at that. Do you know what I mean? That's all you had to do was just take that step all this time. So, like, that's one thing I want to say to, like, all my supporters. Like, I don't know what your gift is. It could be whatever it is. I'm weird. I follow the Guinness Book of World Records on Instagram.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
And because I appreciate people's gifts. That's what I'm saying. So I follow them on Instagram, yeah? Fam, the sort of shit that they do to break those world records, that some of the most craziest shit, but it's like they got a gift and someone encouraged that. They had to tell someone they're going to the Guinness Book of World Records, and someone said, yeah, do that clapping thing you do. Go and do it, to get me. So, like, get around people that's going to encourage your thing and, like, do it, man. No matter how dumb it is, that gift got given to you for a reason. God's not stupid, so he knew that it can turn into something, no matter how the world looks at it. So, like, that's what I'm going to encourage, that all my supporters, that I don't know what your thing is, but, like, I mean, we're in lockdown, so we got all the time in the world to go to revisit that thing and hone into it. And, like, and another thing that steers people away from using their gift is because they don't know how they're going to make money from it, or, like, how big the thing's going to be. But forget all that. Just take the first step in, like, making it as thick as possible, as good as possible, and let the other steps figure itself out. Do you know what I mean? And let the other steps figure itself out. And trust me, man, just go for it, man. And that's my message, man. That's my genuine message that I want everyone to know. Your gift can make. Yo,
I got to ask you. Yeah. You're an incredibly positive person, and I believe from the live here, from all the comments, people receive you positively. But like everyone, people also get the negative as well. How do you deal with negativity and haters as well?
Do you know what? I don't get a lot of hate. Thank God, though. I don't really get a lot of hate. I rarely get, and the hate stands out because I don't get a lot. Do you know what I mean? And ooh. And I don't really get a lot of hate. But in terms of dealing with, like, my demons and my self-doubt, that's an ongoing thing. This morning I was at war with myself. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's an ongoing. But what I do have, I've got, like, great mentors. Like, do you know what I mean? And when I say mentors, I don't even mean mentors that I physically have in my life. Just people that I watch. You can have online mentors now. I've got, like, my Instagram's lit. Like, I look at my screen time sometimes, yeah, and it's like fucking, I don't know, 12, 13 hours, and I think, what was I doing? How did that fly by? But then I realized it's because of what I'm consuming. Like, I'm not just on Instagram looking at, like, bullshit. You get me? I follow some incredible people, and, like, I'm always getting, like, positive input. I'm always getting that positive reinforcement of, like, what I should be doing and how I should be thinking. So that's what's important. I think the people you follow, the people you listen to,
education.
It's so important. It's so important, man. It's so important. It's so important.
And with the people that you follow, they inspire you, and in probably more ways than you could ever imagine, you inspire a lot of people out there. As you said, your supporters are clean advocates for the things that you do. Like, I can honestly say, I'm a supporter of your work. I put your music on, and I'm digesting it consciously and subconsciously. And we're looking forward to your new project. What would your message be to your supporters now that are watching the live currently and that will watch the live later on?
My message to all my supporters, all 16 of you that's in here, use your gift. You got one. I know you think, no, I ain't got one. I'm not good at anything. No, there's that one thing you do that you're sick at, that you do it so naturally, like, so easy. I don't know. It comes so natural to you. Do it. Just do it, man. Just do it. That's all I can say is just do it. Stop overthinking it. Just do it. Just do it.
That's a plug from Mike.
Yeah, that's a plug. Just do it, man. Just go for it. Just go for it. And don't worry about the money. Worry about being the best at it, and everything could just open itself. It would. As soon as I got really good at what I do, all the opportunities came. as soon as I became a sick speaker, the TED Talk opportunity came. It just fell in my lap. My friend hit me up and said, yo, like, I can introduce you to this woman called Mary Ann and you can do a TED Talk. It just came. So that's exactly what will happen to you. As soon as you get great at that thing, all the opportunities are going to start coming, because what the universe is saying is that you're ready to showcase this thing and not embarrass yourself. That's why you got to take the time to practice it. You know what I mean? So you don't embarrass yourself. So that's what I'm saying. So all of you lot, use your gift. And yeah, I'll see you lot on the other side.
And Jake has been so vocal in his comments. So I've got to read this out because I want to put him on. He said, I started following Shoca when I lost my best friend to suicide. And I saw him perform at the Don't Suffer in Silence comedy night and felt the lyrics and the experience in his tracks. The relevance was hitting home. Shocks, what have you got to say to that?
That means the world to me, man. That's what I'm saying, like shit like that, but big up Jake. Big you up, Jake, man. And yeah, stuff like that. That's what I do it for. That's exactly what I do it for. I didn't know he was in there and I didn't know he was going through that. Do you know what I mean? But I knew the place that I was going to perform, someone that's going through Jake's experience will probably be in there. That'll be beneficial. That'll be beneficial for what I'm saying. So yeah, that.
Yeah, like even reading that's touched me as well, actually.
Yeah.
So I want to say, Jake, thank you so much for sharing that. Shocks. Listen, I'm trying to work on some projects where I'm going into schools and talking to young kids, man. I have to get you on at some point.
Let's do it.
Because I believe it's so powerful to have a conversation between two men speaking about mental health and so much more. But I think in particular, being black men, there's a lot of issues that we face with mental health and everything that's happening in society now. How do you feel about the future, Shocks, as an individual, and most importantly, as a black man?
What if, in terms of what?
Just how does the future feel to you? When you think of the future, what comes to your mind? Is it positive? Is it negative? Is it doubtful? Is it hopeful?
Do you know what? It's always hopeful. It's always hopeful. It's always hopeful. And I think a lot of things are going to change. I think a lot of things. We're seeing it now. We're literally seeing the system collapse in front of our eyes and a new system's about to be birthed. I think a lot of things are going to change. A lot of things. Even the way we're attacking racism. That's never happened before. I saw Obama had an interview and they said, Obama, what do you think about the marches that's been going on? And he said, you know what? He's seen so many marches throughout his lifetime, but this one feels a little different because that it's not just black people, it's white people. We're all coming to, you know what I mean? So I think a lot of things are going to change. Even mental health. My mum's never seen the word mental health in this conversation has probably never come up in her lifetime. But now we're having this live and we're tackling it. So like, I feel like this generation and the generations to come, there's going to be so much changes to be made. 100%, $1,000,000%.
Yeah,
so,
because I feel quite positive. I think even the fact we can use a platform such as social media, and I've never met you before, but with the link up has to happen because I'm down in Southwest. I think you're North, right?
Yeah, I'm North.
So listen, the link up's got to happen over some good food because I think my friendship circle, we could learn so much from an individual such as yourself. And I need to put you on to some of the people that I know. But I think using this platform to even have a conversation with someone like yourself opens my eyes because I come to these conversations and I always come open-minded. I'm always assuming that the person I'm speaking to is someone that's going to teach me something that I don't already know.
Definitely.
So, and I think having this conversation, like to listen to your album on Spotify and then to come and have this conversation, it's honestly, it's a beautiful feeling and it's quite symbiotic in the sense of your music truly reflects you as a person.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, you know, you meet a lot of individuals that when they make music, you're like, is that really how that person acts? Is that really how they are? But you're authentic, you're transparent. I don't know many artists out there who speak about the things you speak about. So I've got to say a thank you on my behalf. And I know there's a lot of people there thankful.
No, I appreciate it so much. No, thank you, man. Thank you. Music's really my life. It's really my life. Do you know what I mean? I'm not rapping about someone else's life. Like, it's really my life. It's either I'm rapping about my life or I'm rapping about someone that's really close to me. Like, It's either I'm rapping about my life, or I'm rapping about someone that's really close to me. Do you know what I mean? Like good fathers. He's really here. This is how close he is to me. I'm not reading a book about someone that my DJ. I really see his daughter all the time. FaceTime. Do you know what I mean? So single mothers. My mum's a single mum. Do you know what I mean? This is real experiences. So that's why people feed it like that. And I can come on the live and I can speak about it so freely because it's my life. I'm not putting on a facade. This is what I really go through.
Absolutely. And when you've got inspirational people to your left, but to my right, such as your DJ, being a good father, I've got to say it's good to see black men taking up the mantle and taking on their responsibility to be fathers. And I have to say thank you to the DJ that's inspired that track because it's touched me.
Yes.
So he was the catalyst for all of that.
He was the catalyst, yeah, definitely. And that's the good thing about the fact that I make my music based on my life experiences because anything can inspire me. Anything. Like you can say one word and it'll just trigger something. It happens to me. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Shocks. Yes, man. Love for that, man.
Yeah, that's me and my DJ, his wife, and his kids. You know what I mean? That's real life.
My man's plugging himself and the family, you know. But listen, Shocks. Yeah. I've got to say this has been such an emotionally and mentally and spiritually enlightening conversation in the sense of, I think when people are going to look back at this, there's going to be so much for them to take away, to learn and to listen from. And I think I'm going to be plugging your music on my page, obviously, but I genuinely recommend people to listen to your music consciously and subconsciously to digest what you put out there because your music is nutritious, most importantly.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So I want to leave you with, what do you finally want to say to everyone who's looking at the moment?
Look out for my new album.
How long do you have to wait, bro?
You know what? International Men's Day is on November 19th. Awesome. International Men's Day is on November the 19th, and World Mental Health Day is on October the 10th. So look out for those 2 dates, and that's all I'm saying.
So you're making me have to wait that long now?
It's not that long. We're in what? September?
Next week.
Listen, that's a long time, you know, bro.
No, it's not that long. If it don't come on those 2 dates, then I don't know when. Probably next year. Probably early next year. If it don't come,
we're gonna have to scrap at that rate. But no, man. Thank you so much for
definitely
just taking the time.
Man. Big up Jake for real, man. Honestly, that your words.
Definitely. I just want to say thank you.
Big up Shah still. Yeah, go on.
Thank you so much to individuals such as Jake who have been so engaged in this live, and you've touched him and you've proved that your album is your mentality. It's an impact over numbers game. Shots, thank you. And listen, we have to make the link up happen. I'm going to send through some plans to you. Big up to your DJ for driving you as well. Big up the DJ, and thank you for being the catalyst for the song.
It's a big song.
Absolutely, man. I think individuals such as yourself are allowing individuals such as Shocks to continue giving people their gift. So I just got to say thank you, man.
Definitely. No,
yes,
love, bro.
Man.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely. We'll talk soon, King.
All right, then, bro.
Have a good night.
Love.
Yeah. All right.